In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful, and may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon His last and beloved Messenger Muhammad, and may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon you all. This is the introductory episode of a series entitled Events at the End of Time and Chapter 18 of the Quran. Now, in this series I will talk about how Allah God Almighty tells us in chapter 18 of the last revelation to people of the Quran the events happening and unfolding in our time, in this day and age, which is the end of time, and how also Allah prepares us how to survive these events. Now, as an introduction to this series, let's pose the following question: what is the relationship between events at the end of time and chapter 18 of the Quran? Now, we can answer this question by pondering upon the sayings of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. And the first one to ponder upon, brothers and sisters, is the one you see on the screen. This is translation for it. Allah God has sent not a prophet except that He warned His nation from Dajjal. Noah warned against him, and also the prophets after him. And he, i.e. Dajjal, will emerge and dwell among you. So in this saying, Prophet Muhammad, he's telling us and warning us about Dajjal. Dajjal, he's a man that will emerge at the end of times, in our time. And Prophet Muhammad is telling us that he will emerge and dwell among you, meaning in our time. So, as I said, this Dajjal, the Arabic word, the meaning of it, the great deceiver, a liar. So this man will be one of the events at the end of times, and he will emerge among us now. Why? Because every prophet warned his people from this person, from this man, and he did not emerge in previous nations and in all times. So he must emerge in this time, which is the end of times. This is the first information we get from this. The second information we can learn from pondering upon the following saying of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, which says, who memorizes the first 10 verses of Surah Kahf, chapter 18 of the Quran, will be saved from Dajjal. And in another narration, the last 10 verses of Surah Kahf. So here Prophet Muhammad is telling us that who memorizes the first 10 verses of Surah Kahf, chapter 18 of the Quran, will be saved from Dajjal. So what I'm interested in here, that the only chapter in the Quran which is linked to this topic of Dajjal is chapter 18 of the Quran. So by a simple deduction or simple conclusion from this, Dajjal, this great deceiver, is an event at the end of times. And the only chapter in the Quran which is linked to this topic is chapter 18 of the Quran. This means that chapter 18 in the Quran talks about the events at the end of time. So let me show you this deduction. As you can see on the screen, the Dajjal, this great deceiver, will appear in our time, the end of time. He's an event at the end of time. And chapter 18 of the Quran is linked to the Dajjal, this great deceiver, this topic. Thus, the conclusion is that chapter 18 of the Quran tells us about the events that will happen at the end of time. So we are informed in chapter 18 of the Quran about the events at the end of time and how to survive them and be among the successful ones. Now let me just re-emphasize this point. This time we live in is a very difficult time, filled with trials, deception, and it's a difficult time indeed. So out of the mercy of Allah God Almighty, He's telling us in chapter 18 of the Quran, as you will see in this series, the events happening to us at this day and age. Not just so that you will be informed about them, but also Allah is preparing you for them. When you are prepared for something, you do it better. For example, if you are about to embark on a new job, if somebody prepares you for that job, you will do it better. So Allah God Almighty is telling you about these events as they are unfolding and future events, such that you will be prepared for them, that you will be saved from these trials and hard times. So it's out of the mercy of Allah God Almighty. And we will see how Allah tells you about these events and also tells you how to survive them. how to be among the successful one, and to enter paradise in the hereafter. So, as it's the case with all of my lectures, we need to apply things. It's not just talking about them, just telling you like a story. Also, we need to apply, because if something you don't apply, there is no use in it. You need to apply it in your life. So you'll see how by pondering upon this chapter, you will understand what's happening in this day and age, and how to survive, how to implement and to survive these trials and these hard times. So in the series, I divided into 3 episodes, 3 parts. The first one, as you can see on the screen, it's entitled The Quran and the Condition of People at the End of Time. Episode 2 will be Trials and Satan at the End of Time. And episode 3 will be The Great Deceiver, Dajjal, and the Guided One, Al-Mahdi. So these 3 episodes, Allah God willing, will cover the main points and the main events at the end of time, and how to survive them and be prepared for them. And these episodes are coming soon, Allah God willing. And to find these episodes, please visit my website at www.quran-miracle.com, and you can email me at zquran@gmail.com, and may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon you all.